Please be seated. Okay. Here we go. The best part of a family trip is spending time with a kinderlach and enekelach. Now, let's talk about family. Who had the tallest family tree in history? Haman! Haman's grandson put out a CD about his grandfather's death. You know what he called it? When Zadie was hung. Someone actually asked President Obama, how can you be president if you haven't released your birth certificate? The president answered, I'm not the first leader that didn't show their birth certificate. You know who was the first person not to show it? Esther Hamalka. What a knowledgeable man that Obama is. That reminds me of another Purim joke. Why is the Shabbos before Purim called Shabbos Zacher? You know why? Because it's the last thing you'll remember for a long time. Thank you so much, New York. I love you. Thank you. Chicago. Thank you. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. Let me tell you the story of Pesach. Pesach was a sukkah. Oh, that's crazy. How could Pesach be a sukkah? That's ridiculous. Oh, that's the most Fiveish. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Well, I'll explain. He wasn't the whole sukkah, but he was part of a sukkah. Pesach and his brothers became the walls of a sukkah. The smartest brother became the mizrachvant. And the dumbest brother had no choice but to be the doorway because he was missing screws. That's why. Now, Pesach felt very bad for his stupid brother. He told his smart brother, let's daven to Hashem that our stupid brother should get some brains. Because, before we start davening, though, we should rip our shirt. And Pesach's smart brother asked, well, why should we rip our shirt? We're not davening at the Kaisel. Pesach said, well, we're not davening at the Kaisel, but we're davening for the Kaisel. Well, yeah. A few minutes later, Pesach's father ran into the sukkah and said, I'm warning you boys, you better not rip your shirts, they cost a lot of money. Pesach was shocked. He said, Abba, how did you know we were planning on ripping our shirts? Pesach's father winked and said, you know what they say, the walls have ears. Ha, 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 ha. I'm the biggest bucky in the whole world regarding Shabbos food. Just the other day, someone came to me with 4 shilas about Shabbos food. 4 shilas. 4 shilas. He asked me, he said, Fiveish, I always wondered which type of wine I should use for Kiddush. I said, not so simple. It's a machlokes between Rashi and the Bartanita. He asked me a second question. He said, Fiveish, there are so many different kinds of fish in the ocean. How do the fishermen know which fish is the gefilte fish? I said, the gefilte fish are very easy to spot. They are the only fish that swim around with a carrot on the head. and nog hem hadden me gevraagd aan de ritterschalen. I said, Fiveish, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I said, of course the chicken came first. You know why? Because the chicken came on Friday night, but the egg didn't come until Shabbos Badei. And then he asked me a 4th question, 4 kashes. He said, Fiveish, I always wondered about the meat in the cholent, the flanken. I know that flanken comes from a cow, but I don't know which part of the cow the flanken is from. I said, it's right next to the kishka. You can trust me, I know my beans. Thank you so much. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Yom Tov, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Yom Tov. Good evening, thank you. Now, I am very good with predictions, okay? I don't know if you know that about me. I am an excellent predictor. I am a prognosticator par excellence. I can predict anything. In 2016, there will be elections in America. That's not my prediction, that's a fact. But you know which party is going to win? Achashverosh's party. And you know why Achashverosh will win? Because he has a great slogan. Tired of the Tea Party? Try the wine party. Now, President Bush He was a man. He made the first Hanukkah party in the White House. President Obama, made the first Seder, Pesach Seder in the White House. President Achashverosh will make the first Purim Suda in the White House. And President Achashverosh will get so drunk, he won't be able to tell the difference between Aro Osama and Barack Obama. That reminds me of a joke. Which yeshiva did Osama bin Laden go to after he died? Waterbury. I could see people taking offense to that. That is just funny stuff. Okay. It's very important to have a Bein Hazmanim. You know what I'm saying? The reason is because you can't work too hard if you don't have a way to release your energy budget. It's not shaykh. Or, as we say in Yeshiva Sprach, you can't plug without an outlet. Like I always say, either chill out or burn out. You know what I'm saying? L'maisa nowadays, Torah is becoming very high tech. You can learn Shas on a Kindle and Daf Yomi Shiurim on an iPad, whatever you want. However, there's a problem. If you take away Yeshiva Bacha's hands, L'maisa, he won't be able to learn L'maisa. That means, although Torah can be high tech, it will never be hands free. That reminds me of a joke, by the way. I was about to leave, but I remember this one more joke. How do you kill Yeshiva flies? What? With Yeshiva charade. Okay, take care. Have a good night. Thank you. No, please. No. Okay, thanks. Let's truly talk about mitzvahs. When my dog turned 13, he got a bark mitzvah. When my cat found out about it, he was very jealous, so we made him a cat mitzvah. And these simchos were really special. I mean, instead of raining cats and dogs, it was laning cats and dogs. Well, the cat mitzvah particularly, just meant a lot to everyone, But no one had more nachas than Dr. Seuss. I mean, for the first time, my cat was actually in a hat. And now at the bark mitzvah, the Tati dog got up to speak. You know what he said? He said, "Wow, time flies. It feels like yesterday we were at his bris. We are now at his bark mitzvah, and before you know it, we'll be at his rough, his rough. You know what I'm saying? Because dogs, they bark." At his bris, of course, we did name him Kalev after his grandfather, Kelev. Baruch Hashem, he's living up to his name. I wish I could take credit for his chinuch, but I have nothing to do with his success. The real credit goes to my shviger. My shviger sets an example about how to act like a real dog. My shviger's gonna kill me. Baruch Hashem, we're privileged to have Gedolim. Let me tell you, unlike the wise men of Chelm, our Gedolim have real solutions to our problems. But let me talk a little bit about the wise men of Chelm, everybody's favorite Chelmers, There was a Shmerel had a big problem. Shmerel's house had a tiny hole in the roof. Every time it rained, drops of water would drip into his house. Shmerel asked the wise men of Chelm. He said, "Wise men of Chelm, what should I do about the leak?" The wise men said, "I'll tell you what to do. You remove the roof. Once the roof is removed, I promise you it will never leak again." Oh, smart, no? There was another guy over there in Chelm. His name was Beryl. He was very absent-minded. He would always forget, before Shabbos to shut off his alarm clock. And while the alarm clock would ring the whole Shabbos, his family wouldn't be able to sleep. So it was a big problem. So he went to the wise men of Chelm and he said, "Wise men of Chelm, what should I do?" The wise men told him, "You find somebody with a very loud voice that can drown out the sound of the alarm clock and have this guy scream on top of his lungs. As long as your friend is screaming, you'll never hear the alarm clock and the problem will be solved." There was once a gas shortage in the village of Chelm, and because of the shortage, the line for gas was 10 hours long. Now, Shmerel had just filled up his car, and he drove out of the gas station. However, instead of heading home, he went right back to the end of the line after he filled up already, and he went back to the end of the line, you understand? So his friend Beryl asked him, he said, Shmerel, I don't understand. You just filled up your tank. How can you already be on empty? So Shmerel explained, listen very closely, it's true that right now I'm on full, but by the time I get back to the gas station, I'll be on empty again. What a silly man. So one time, Shmerel was driving on the highway when he got a flat tire. He didn't know what to do, so he called AAA. The operator told him, listen, the first thing you have to do is you got to pull over to the shoulder. You got to be safe. Safety first. And once you're on the shoulder, you should turn on your blinkers. Are your blinkers still working? So Shmerel says, yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, no. Oh, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Now they're working. I'll see you next time. Take care, Ruthon. Yeah, woohoo! Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. I was by someone else's Rosh Hashanah night, and saw a lot of simanim on the table. There was an apple, and there was a pomegranate, a brand new tire for his car. I told my host, what? Well, I understand the apple, I understand the pomegranate, but why do you have a tire? He told me every Rosh Hashanah I put a brand new tire on the table. It's a siman that I should have a good year. On the subject of cars, now that we're talking about them. What is the difference between a horse and a car? One is a Ford and one is a Ford. There was once a horse that became very sick. The farmer took his horse to the horse doctor. Of course, the horse doctor's name was Dr. Seuss. And Dr. Seuss looked at the horse and told the farmer, don't worry, your horse is in stable condition. That's all for me tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you. You've been great. I love you, New York. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. No, please. No. Okay, thanks. That's it? You finished? Okay, thank you. In Sefer Shmoes, we're reading Sefer Shmoes, and we read all about the Mitzvah. The Mitzvah parents, they were very liberal when it came to chinuch. They let their kids do whatever they wanted, but the only thing they were makbid on was water fights. And you know why the Mitzrayim were so makbid on water fights? Because they were afraid it would turn bloody. After we left Mitzrayim, we began counting down the days until Kabbalah Satira. And after counting Sphira, a guy I know goes over to his wife, and he asks her, what's for supper tonight? And she says, well, last night was meatballs and spaghetti. Now, during Kabbalah Satorah, all the sick people got healed. So many Yidden actually got better. You know what they started calling it? They started calling it Mount Sinai Hospital. But it only worked, this whole Kabbalah Satorah Mount Sinai Hospital thing, if you took the full dose. If you wanted to get healed, you had to take 2 tablets. Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. Okay, check out this story. Okay, this is what happened. True story, what happened when I applied for Obamacare, okay? Thank you for calling Obamacare. What's your name, sir? My name is Fiveish. Do you have an English name, sir? Yeah, sure. My English name is Bill. Are you married, sir? Well, I'm not a single. The following question is optional. What race are you? Are you white or black? I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm green. How old are you, sir? Who said I'm old? I'm actually brand new. I just came off the printer this morning. Where were you born? At the U.S. Mints. If you're an American, then what are you doing in a Chinese auction? Well, I was born in America, but my costume was made in China.
What did you say? I can't hear you. The reception is terrible.
Well, I'm not known for the reception. I'm known for the Shmorg! The Shmorg! Coming soon to a mailbox near you. The Shmorg, it's awesome this year. Check it out. Kinderlach convinced your parents to spend the money for the Shmorg. It's really awesome. Little plug in there. Oh, what?